Good morning. I am here to present my term paper on metal insulator transitions. How to classify metals and insulators. There are many different models which exist to model metals and insulators. The first model was the Drude-Electron model, and after that, the Sommerfeld free electron model was used the Fermi Dirac distribution as an improvement on the previous one. However, these models were used to model metals only, and not necessarily distinguish between metals and insulators. Another model came later on, known as the band theory, which helped in distinguishing between metals, insulators, and semiconductors on the basis of the band gaps between the bands. We classify metals and insulators solely on the basis of their conductivity while understanding metal insulator transitions. Metals have high conductivity while insulators have low or zero conductivity. Phase transitions is a change of one phase of matter to another. A phase could be a state of matter, or we can distinguish one phase from the other if they do not mix to form a homogeneous mixture, and even if they mix, in, their properties can be distinguished. They can be classified into first or second order transitions based on the continuity of the free energy by by the Ehrenfest classification or the order parameter by the Landau classification at the critical temperature where the transition occurs. The concept of symmetry breaking can be better understood from the Landau theory of phase transitions. Fermi energy. Fermi energy is the energy difference between the lowest and the highest occupied fermionic states. The term that is commonly used as a Fermi energy and is represented by EF is actually the Fermi level, which is the highest occupied energy level in the system and can be estimated in a thermodynamic equilibrium in a system which is in thermodynamic equilibrium. Usually it lies at the bottom of the conduction band in case the valence band is completely filled. Fermi surface is the surface which separates the occupied and the unoccupied states in a fermionic system. Both the Fermi energy and the Fermi surface can only be sharply defined at absolute zero temperature. For a one-dimensional chain of one electron atoms, tight binding can be modeled by assuming the electrons in the different atoms are in the same orbitals and the orbitals of different atoms do not mix. The movement of electrons is allowed till the nearest neighbor, which but model can be extended to include other neighbors too, but the mathematical calculation would be very difficult. In case of nearest neighbor hopping, we get a bandwidth of energies which depends on the hopping term t as in the form as is in the form of a cosine function. The Bloch theorem helps us in understanding how the wave function of an electron is modified in the presence of a periodic potential. They are actually amplitude modulated from the solution to the free electronic model, that is a plane wave function, and the amplitude term UKX is itself has a translational symmetry. The nearly free electron model can be used to understand the changes in the potential in the changes in the wave function due to the nuclear attraction in the free by using this nuclear attraction as a perturbation in the free electron theory. Assuming that the energy close to the Brillouin boundaries are equal, we can use degenerate perturbation theory to find that there is a discontinuity in the previously continuous energy levels at the Brillouin boundaries. This creates different bands with band gaps as seen in the reduced zone scheme. Transitions are due to band overlapping is the simplest form of metal insulator transition. It happens when the valence and the conduction bands overlap. If initially the valence band is completely filled, then it is an insulator. However, when it overlaps with the conduction band, it becomes a metal, as the electrons get more room to maneuver. This takes place in the divalent metals and can be understood from the tight binding model, as there would be two different bands, and on increasing the specific volume of the uh, lattice, the two bands will overlap at a particular critical volume. Anderson transitions mainly occur in disordered systems. This transition is due to the presence of random potential, which can commonly attributed to disordered systems, as a result of which the wave functions everywhere cancel out except near the lattice sites, and hence the electrons are said to be localized. Since the disorders are distributed randomly, the lattice at a high lattice separations, it does not affect the mobility of electrons. However, if the lattice separation is reduced, the overlap between the atoms increases greatly, which also contributes to the localization. Finally, a point is reached where there is no diffusion of electrons and the system effectively behaves as like an insulator. This type of transition is seen in liquid mercury and liquid cesium. Phase transitions occur when two atoms move closer to form a superlattice. This happens often by applying external pressure, by changing the composition of atoms in case of alloys, or by decreasing the specific volume. The effective lattice constant doubles, and so if a band is half filled originally, it would be a metal. But in due to this distortion, the new band gap opens up halfway through the original Brillouin zone. So now the band becomes fulfilled and hence an insulator. Hubbard bands are created when an excess electron moves into a lattice site, just leaving behind a hole. The transition from metal to insulator occurs when the overlap between these two bands is equal to the average interaction energy between the electrons, which is the concept behind the Hubbard Hamiltonian. And this can be only be possible if one neglects the electron hole interaction. This phenomenon is correctly explained by the concept of spin polarions, and this is known as the Mott-Hubbard transition. Band crossing transitions occur in materials with an indirect band gap. Initially, due to a large band gap, the conduction band is not accessible to the valence electrons. However, for the negative value of the band gap, metallic state is formed, as the metal electrons can freely maneuver itself in the conduction band. However, at the critical band gap, which is positive, however, the electrons interact with holes to form electron hole droplets and not excitons, which can act as a charge carriers. This is seen mainly in quenched alloys. The Kondo effect is seen in systems having magnetic impurity. Here, the spin of electrons close to the Fermi levels flip after interacting with the electrons in the impurity bands, provided they are magnetic or have magnetic ordering. This movement of conduction electrons becomes stronger as the temperature increases. Finally, a temperature is reached where there is a transition from a material from a insulated to a metal, and the critical temperature where it happens is known as the Kondo temperature. Impurity band transitions are seen in highly doped N-type semiconductors, which are compensated. That is, they have both donor and acceptor atoms, but the number of donor atoms greatly outnumber the number of acceptor atoms. At lower temperatures, the electrons remain bound in the low number of acceptor eigenstates. However, at high temperatures, they bind to the donor sites and as such can access the conduction band more easily and hence becomes metallic at low temperatures even. It is an example of a second order phase transition. This is not an exhaustive list of transitions. There are many more transitions in magnetic and superconducting materials, which I have not discussed. Moreover, transitions in individual materials are unique and may not exclusively belong to any one category of transition. We have previously stated that liquid mercury follows the Anderson transition, but in fact, it can also undergo Mott-Hubbard transitions at low temperatures. Thank you.